always think of the possibilities of what this item can be. And this also will help you if you're just looking at an item that you want to get and you don't really know what you're going to do with it. I'm very guilty of that. Sometimes I still buy them though. Hi, welcome back to Vividly Bright, a space that's dedicated to plus size and curvy fashion as well as lifestyle. I'm Courtney and I'm so glad you're here. Today we are going to be talking about thrifting. We're going to be talking about one of the things that I absolutely love. I love thrifting. It is one of my favorite things about clothes shopping now. Like, I used to hate clothes shopping. I felt like, oh, I could never find anything. I don't like anything. Now I kind of love clothes shopping, but one of the things I love more than anything is thrift shopping. Like, just finding those really gem pieces that nobody else has, or just finding something that would have been really expensive at a regular store, but you found it here, so it's a lot cheaper. There's just so much. I love the hunt. I just love thrift shopping. I do thrift shopping for clothes, for household things. I love a good thrift store. I love a good deal. So today I'm going to be telling you some of my tips for if you want to start thrift shopping. Clothes. We're only going to focus on clothes. If you want to start thrift shopping, I'm going to give you some of my tips that I use. So if you want to hear my favorite go-to thrifting tips to help your next thrifting trip be successful, then let's get into it. Tip number 1, make a plan. Make a plan as to what you want to do. I get that it's a crapshoot when you go into a thrift store. They're either going to have some really great stuff or they're going to have nothing at all. But how you make a plan is to know what you already want to try to discover when you get there, if that makes any sense. I like to do inspo pictures and inspo boards. I like to make a list of things that I need to add to my closet. I like to make things that I would like to find that are trendier pieces. I tend to buy my trendier pieces at like a Plato's Closet type of store, but like if it's trendier pieces that you would like to find, and you go into your thrift shopping already having an idea of what you want on your plan, what you're looking for, so that you can start to hit up those areas in the thrift store, in the consignment store, whatever store you're going to, and try to find those particular items. Sometimes when you just go in without a plan, you're just kind of searching. It can be overwhelming because there's racks and racks. Certain thrift stores, they're not organized by by size. So making a plan definitely helps focus in what you need, focus in the kind of thing you're looking for. It may not be the exact blouse, but you're looking for something similar to it that's in your inspo picture or your inspo board. So definitely making a plan will help you find that item or find something similar to it than not having any clue what you want at all. Keep in mind, it's not like the stores where they're going to just be tons of clothes on displays, nicely put out. You're going to have to hunt. You're going to have to search. So definitely know what you're looking for before you go. Make a plan. Tip number 2 is give yourself time. You've made a plan, but you need to give yourself time. Thrift shopping is a lot of fun, but it is also one of those things that you're going to have to go through every individual shirt, every individual pair of pants, look at the sizing, keep going. Things are stacked together. It may not be a very organized store. All the thrift stores are different depending on which ones they are. So definitely make time. Do not go to a thrift store when you only have about 30 minutes to spare and think you're going to find these great treasures. You might, but it's more likely if you give yourself enough time to actually go and get through the things that are on the shelves and on the racks, then you're more likely to find things, find a lot more items. I know me personally, I go through racks and then I'll go through them again and be like, how did I not see this? And find something that in a rack that I did not see the first time I went through. So definitely when you're going to give yourself time, search through those racks and plan to shop when you have time dedicated for some deep hunting. If you really want to find those things, you're going to have to give yourself time to do some deep hunting and deep searching in those very overloaded racks. So for the next tip, go to the rich part of town. We're really more just like the more affluent part of town. You don't have to go to like the rich part of town if you want, sure. But go to the more affluent part of town. Go to an area. And I only say this because you're going to usually find things that have been donated because they didn't really want them anymore, or donated because they got a newer version and that one's still in pretty good quality, is still a pretty good quality item, and they just got a better version and they donated it. So when you go to these parts of town, you're going to also find a lot of treasures. Sometimes I find things with tags still on them. Sometimes I find things that are in perfect condition that looks like maybe it was only worn like once or twice. So you're going to have a better look, and you're also going to find sometimes nicer type clothes in the more affluent part of town. You're going to find some more name brand type clothes in the affluent part of town. So definitely go to that part of town for your searching and your hunting. Go to all of the parts of town, but that one is definitely a tip where I have found some really great things by going a little bit over to the richer part of town, so to speak. Tip number 4. Do not go to the thrift store during busy times, the peak hours. And me personally, I try not to go on the weekends. I find nothing on the weekends except a whole lot of people and a headache and long lines, and it's just frustrating. I'm frustrated. I don't want to search as much. There's just too many people, especially given the situations that's out in the world now. It's just not a good idea. So I like to personally go right as the store is opening earlier in the day, right before lunch are usually good times for me, always during the weekday. Another time to go would probably be during the evening time, later in the evening. There's probably going to be less crowds, especially if you're going on a weekday later in the evening. I don't typically shop thrift stores that late in the evening, but I do find for me, early in the morning, right as they're opening is usually my sweet spot. Not too many people are in there. You can go through the racks at your leisure. You can find a lot of stuff that hasn't been even seen yet, that they might have just put on the shelves. So definitely try to find the best time for that thrift store and hit that thrift store up during the down times, not the peak times. So the next tip is dress to undress. You definitely want to be able to quickly try things on in case you can't make it over to the dressing room, or if they're still doing restrictions where you can't try things on, which a lot of stores are still doing. I know regular stores are doing it. I don't know about thrift stores, but if you can't try things on, then you definitely want to wear layers so that you can kind of get an idea of if it fits. I do this a lot with jackets. So I usually just wear like a really simple t-shirt, and I'll wear like really tight leggings if I need to try on pants, which I don't usually thrift pants. That's just me personally. But if you need to try on things that you can easily pull over those clothes and take off, If you buy shoes, thrifted shoes, maybe have on socks already so that you can try on the shoes. Just make it easier for yourself to be able to try things on quickly or to kind of see a good fit for them. So it's a lot easier to just dress so that you can slide things on and slide things over while you're out in the aisles. I usually do it with jackets. So definitely think about what you're wearing when you're going to try on those clothes. The next tip is don't trust labels. If you're vintage shopping, definitely don't trust labels because sizes were so much different whenever that item might have been at its popularity. But definitely don't trust labels because sometimes, as you know, brands fluctuate in the sizes. So unless it's like a tried and true brand that you just know how their clothes are going to fit in that size, like for me, that's an Old Navy. I know how Old Navy clothes are going to fit, and I'm usually spot on when I can see, oh, this size is going to fit, this size is not going to fit. Unless you just know that brand, don't trust the size because it could be something that runs a little large, it could be something that runs a little small. And then also remember, these are secondhand clothes, so they're not necessarily still in the shape that they were when they were purchased, so they might be a little more stretched out or they might have shrunken because they weren't properly washed. So definitely try on is the tip beforehand. I said make sure you're able to try things on quickly, but definitely try on your items, but also know that just because it says a certain thing on the tag, inspect it, look at it and see, and then try it on because that may not be true to what the actual size and fit on your body is. The next tip is go to the men's section. I have found some great t-shirts in the men's section. I have found some oversized blazers in the men's section. There are a lot of great things that you can get from the men's section. You don't always think to go over there. I do because my husband, but I've found some great things for myself over there as well. So don't discount the men's section. Always go take a little quick look and see what you might find. Next is stock up on the basics. I am a basics girl. I live and breathe basics. You have to have them. I will keep repeating it. Stock up on your basics. This is a great place to try to find some basic items. You may not always be able to find like the plain white t-shirts and things to that nature, but blazers are a perfect place to go. Jackets, leather jackets, jean jackets, jeans, if you're looking for pants, trousers, things like that, silk button-down shirts. Those things are the items that you can find at a thrift store in good quality. Sometimes name brand high quality clothes that have been donated, and you can find these and now put them in your basics wardrobe. So definitely have looking for basics on your plan when you go to the thrift store, and always keep an eye out for those little basics that you can throw into your wardrobe and use for so many different outfits. You're going to be likely to find some very high quality things, hopefully at the thrift store, that are going to be wonderful and work wonders in your wardrobe. Always look for basics. The next tip is think of the possibilities. It's usually something that I just tell myself when I'm looking for home items. Think of the possibilities. What can you do with it? What can be done to it? What can be flipped? What can you do? But it is something that you can also do for clothing. Think of the possibilities. Where can you use this? Where in your wardrobe will it come in handy? Will it come in handy? What season can you use this in? Is it a basic? Do I have this basic yet? Always think of the possibilities of what this item can be. And this also will help you if you're just looking at an item that you want to get and you don't really know what you're going to do with it. I'm very guilty of that. Sometimes I still buy them though. Or if it's just an item that you're not quite sure on, and then think about the things that you can do with that item, and it might sell you and it might become one of the things that you adore within your wardrobe. It's happened to me many times before. So always think about the possibilities of that item before you put it back on the shelf. The next tip is don't be afraid to flip it. Keep in mind that the thrift store is secondhand clothes. Depending on how certain stores run, there might be things that have rips or tears or missing buttons or things like that, and they're going to make it onto the shelves, but they might be an item that you can simply repair. It might be something that's a little too big and you can get tailored, or it might be something that you can do a thrift flip on and kind of cut it or change it to make it fit your needs. So definitely don't discount items. Also, when you're looking at items and you're not quite sure, think about, can this be dry cleaned? Can this be soaked and washed and I can get certain small stains out? What are things that I can do to make this item worth purchasing? My one thing is, if you think it's going to cost more in time and effort to try to fix this item, then I would just leave it there. But if it's something that you can probably easily have fixed, fix yourself, wash, clean, or get dry cleaned, then I would definitely say don't leave it there. Definitely think about doing a flip on it. The next one is thrift ahead. Always be thinking about the next season. I love this one because I used to be one of those people that buys coats and sweaters when it's almost cold, and I live in the South, so like it becomes cold way later in the season, so then you wait, and the people who think ahead already have all the good stuff. So definitely thrift ahead. If you see a nice coat, get that coat then. Even if it's the middle of summer, in the middle of July. I know I just recently bought a trench coat and he actually gave me a discount. He's like, usually I'll charge this, but nobody's buying coats, so I'm gonna give you this coat for a lesser price. And that was awesome. So definitely thrift ahead, because those items are not going to be there at the appropriate season for those items. And I know personally, when I've gone to some consignment shops and some thrift stores, they're actually putting their coats and sweaters out in the summertime as well, so they want you to go ahead. And so then when you come in the fall, I would never see those coats and sweaters and be like, I wonder why they don't have as much of a selection. They had a bigger selection during the summer because they want you to thrift ahead. They want you to go ahead and buy ahead. So definitely consider thrifting ahead. Think of the things that you could use in your wardrobe, things that you might need for the fall or for the winter, and thrift ahead. You go to several stores. I also like to go to vintage stores. The prices are going to be a little bit higher. Same thing with consignment shops. The prices may be a little bit higher, but you might find that really nice piece that you would love to put into your wardrobe, or nice purses or things like that. Also, don't count out niche secondhand shops. I love to go to Plato's Closet. I find a lot of basics. I find a lot of purses. I find a lot of items with the tags still on them. Don't be scared to go through. You can find a lot more trendier pieces that you're looking for. So definitely hit up those niche consignment shops as well. You have to be a good hunter if you want to find the good stuff. You can't just go to one store, look through one shelf and say, I'm done. So definitely plan it out, be a good hunter, hit up several different stores, and you're going to find those gems. I know you will. So those are my tips. Let me know in the comments, what's your go-to tips for thrift shopping, thrift hunting? Where do you like to go? Give me some of your tips. I'd love to learn some new things. If you're new to thrifting, just take your time and get into it slowly, but you'll find that it is such a fun thing to do when you're clothes shopping. It's better for the environment to get, so that you're not buying more new clothes all the time, and it's better for your wallet. Basically is one of the reasons why I absolutely adore it. So definitely give thrifting a chance if you have not done it before. So until next time, stay bright, live true, and be vividly you. Bye.